Monroe County Public Defender Julie Cianca. My name is Chris Chichester. I live in Rochester, New York. I have been in jail 6 times, and 6 times a prosecutor from the District Attorney's Office, Sandra Dory, has not talked in court. Prosecutor doesn't talk in court because the prosecutor knows to make an argument that I've committed a crime, exercising First Amendment right, is ludicrous. I read the payroll for the District Attorney's Office online. These hacks and sociopaths know what they're paid because of me. You, Public Defender Julie Cianca, know the names of these hacks and sociopaths assigned to my court appearances before. John P. Lomenzo Jr. in Pennsylvania Court, Paul C. Metzler in Pennsylvania Court, and Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. You know these names, Julie Cianca, because you're the public defender. And you're refusing every single time I contact you, either via email, YouTube, registered mail return receipt, UPS, to disclose the names of my prosecutors' silence. This is the document here, dated May 13, 2023. This is who this went to. I'm going to read. I didn't send it to you, and you know why I didn't send it to you, which I'm going to get to momentarily. This went to Todd Baxter. This is stamped at the post office on May 13th. Sandra Doyle, Perry Duckles, Deputy District Attorney. What are the names of my prosecutors? You refused because you're corrupt. Trinity Ross, United States Attorney for the West District of New York. Perry Duckles, how does your boss, Sandra Doyle, answer if she's contacted by the Department of Justice? This question: why are you refusing to tell a citizen in Rochester, New York, Christopher Chichester, the names of his prosecutors? How's that answered? It has an answer. It's your disgusting, sickening, party-switching boss, who doesn't know if she's a Democrat or Republican, Sandra Doyle, is corrupt. And so are you, Perry Duckles. I contacted you on January 1, 2023, first day of the year, so I could say every day moving forward that I demanded you disclose the names of my prosecutors, and you refused 4+ months ago. And I have been demanding this for 18+ months. So back to Alex Renzi. Who elevated me to Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court? He's not any hack at the hackocracy. He is the hack. As I wrote in this language right here. That's the exact language I wrote in his letter that I'm going to send to you. So, right here, Todd Baxter, Sandra Doyle, Trinity Ross, Alex Renzi will receive tomorrow, because this was sent on Saturday. This letter here, that you're not going to receive, Julie Cianca, but I will put this in the mail, registered mail return receipt tomorrow. May 13, 2023, Sandra Doyle, District Attorney, 47 South Fitzhugh Street, Rochester, New York, 14604. Attached is a 73-page Freedom of Information document dated December 22nd, 2022. You received it via email and registered mail on that day. You refused to comply with every one because the law is a joke to you. Page 59. The documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester over John P. Lomenzo Jr. in Pennsylvania Court. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doyle? Page 60. The documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester for Paul C. Metzler in Pennsylvania Court. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doyle? Page 61. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester for Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doyle? A sociopath at the District Attorney's Office decided to elevate me to former employee of the District Attorney's Office, Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. Is it you, Sandra Doyle? Renzi is not any hack at the hackocracy of New York State Supreme Court in Rochester, New York. He is the hack. My prosecutor didn't talk as I was remanded to Monroe County Jail. Disclose the name of that prosecutor. YouTube psychopaths on Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra, Judge Alex Renzi, link. YouTube corruption fanaticism, Pennsylvania Court, $28,000 Paul C. Metzler, link. Resign. Christopher Chichester, 620 Park Avenue, PMB number 361, Rochester, New York, 14604. Copy 2, Sheriff Todd Baxter, Judge Alex Renzi, Paul C. Metzler, Public Defender Julie Cianca, United States Attorney for Western District, New York, Trinity Ross. Now, there's a name on there. They did not send that to yet. So I'm going to read this first. But these 4 here will receive this tomorrow on here. Baxter, Doyle, Miss Ross, and his hack Alex Renzi. Receive this. So, on this date here, December 22nd, 2022, this information you have in your office, Public Defender Julie Cianca. You're stupefied about information I'm demanding, Julie Cianca. You know what stupefied means? Unable to think. You have to be stupefied. You're the public defender. You have the names of my prosecutors. When I appear in a courtroom, it's a taxpayer-financed facility. Every single time I appear in court, it's courtesy of the taxpayers. With taxpayer-financed employees, that's the judge, that's the district attorney, that's the public defender. Your entire existence, Julie Cianca, is tax dollars. And what are you paid? I'm going to write a freedom of information law. I'm going to demand you disclose the names and salaries of everyone at the public defender's office, and you refuse, and that's why you're corrupt. To call a public official corrupt requires evidence. The evidence, Julie Cianca, is I'm demanding you disclose information you have. You have this information in the public defender's office, the names of my prosecutors. Quote, the prosecutor's not backing down. That's what Regina Harper said to me, Julie Cianca, about the 5'2" 3-piece suit boy before Paul C. Metzer. The prosecutor's not back down in total silence. I can see him. I know what he looks like. I've seen him online. What's his name, Julie Cianca? You know his name. Do you know why? Because you're the public defender. And when I appear in court, I have a prosecutor signed to that court appearance. So here, December 22nd, 2022, this is corruption for Todd Baxter, Sandra Dorley, and you right now. Again, I'm demanding information here over and over and over. It's not only just the names of my prosecutors. I'm demanding out-of-state travel and things like that here. Like Todd Baxter sent Ryan Fisher to Atlanta, Georgia, and then he went to Saratoga Springs. Well, he sent Michael Fowler and Corey Brown. His two employees that have paid more money than him. Michael Fowler's paid $163,000. Corey Brown's paid $155,000. And there they are in Saratoga, where they're out of Monroe County, where violence is crashing down on Rochester. Isn't that right? $0 Michael Rather with $101,000 win today. Kathy Moscato Birdie. So, these three foils here on December 22nd, this is corruption. And you can answer this. You have this information in your office. Public defender, Julie Cianca. And my name is Chris Chichester. And I have three judges, public defender, Julie Cianca. And you know the names of the prosecutors that have destroyed my life. And tell me their names, you sick hack. Freedom of Information Law. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester before John P. Munzer Jr. in Bampton Court. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Dorley? Is that Julie Hahn or is that not Julie Hahn? Perry Douglas, the district attorney's office, you know as well. It's the 5'2" 3-piece suit boy. Quote, the prosecutor's not backing down. You know his name, Regina, because you said to me that exact language. What's his name, Regina Harper? Christopher.chichester@mail.com. Contact me. Email it to me. It's that simple. It is that simple, Regina Harper, to send me the name of this boy, this sociopath. What's his name? Freedom of Information Law, documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester for Paul C. Metzer in Penn Court. What's the name of the prosecutor? Sandra Dorley. Regina Harper. Julie Cianca. You all know the name. You all know the name of this boy. Just like you know the name of whoever the hell this is. My last appearance in New York State Supreme Court, $210,000 hack and fossil Alex Renzi. He was about 70 years old, doesn't know what's going on. He has no idea what's going on. These concocted charges, fictionalized for me. Said I was finished and done, and that's a lie. And this will be, again, a record of me saying that's a lie. I'll be back in front of this hack at the Hackocracy 99 Exchange. I'll be somewhere else because all it takes is one of you sociopaths in the district attorney's office to concoct some lie for me. The arrest warrant will be out there. I'll be file tracked and stalked by the sheriff's office, arrested on the side of the road. You'll take me to the corrupt judge. I'll be declared guilty where I have no due process, where I'm not defended, and I'll be in jail for the 7th time with that happening to me, smashing me into a million little pieces. With a prosecutor never talking court. You have these names. Julie Cianca. Tell me these names, these prosecutors for my appearance before Alex Renzi. Freedom of Information Law, documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester, New York State Supreme Court for Alex R. Renzi. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Dorley? So, there's 72 in here. They used to comply with every one on December 22nd. You know why I'm not going to receive that information? Because this came back to me, Julie Cianca. And what I'm going to show you is corruption. I'm going to send these. I'm going to take pictures of these. I'm going to send this to every member of the Monroe County Legislature. Every member's going to get a packet from me. I'm not going to get these envelopes. I will keep these, but I'm going to send pictures of this. Well, they'll be able to see this. Where it says your name, Julie Cianca, and you're returning this to me. This is corruption. I'm not contacting you and demanding information you don't have. It's information you do have, and you refuse to disclose to me, and that's corruption. To return this to me When you know I'm a defendant in courtroom, you know I'm demanding disclosure of the prosecution. Here you are again, refusing. I'll take a picture of this right here. And then how do you explain yourself? Here's Regina Harper. I'll take a picture of this. I'll send it to you. Back to you, Regina Harper. To the website, just Mark Phillips. He's also refusing. Did you get together at 10 North Fitchie Street and have a meeting and decide we're not going to accept any type of mail from this Chris Chachas? Did you do that? Did you discuss it? You had to. You had to discuss what I'm sending you. And that's not the only envelopes. I have multiple envelopes from you. That's really sick and nauseating. That you three, Mark Phillips, Regina Harper, and Cianca, they're at the public defender's office. You know I'm demanding disclosure, public information, and names of my prosecutor. Then you're meeting or contacting each other on email or talking on the phone, however it's done, about how you return my mail to me. So here it is again. This is going to come back to me. I've not checked my UPS box. This is not a home address I use here. This is 620 Park Avenue. That's UPS. But this May 11th, when I go to that UPS, this will be back to me, coming back to me. Because I just went to the post office on this May 11th. They stamped it. When I go and I check my mailbox, this is going to be you coming right back to me. And then I'll come back here and say, I said this was going to happen. So, you see the shirt I'm wearing here? It says life is good. I'm locked down in my residence. When I was in Livingston County Jail, I was going to seal because Paul C. Metzler, when a prosecutor didn't talk to court, delivered me to Livingston County Jail, walking to the Penfield Public Library. This will be the last time I leave my residence at 26 Sanders from driving Penfield. I do not know when I closed the door that $75,000 Richard J. Seaman and his psychopath partner are watching me. They follow me down Penfield Road, the bad road. I walk to the Penfield Public Library, I get a number, sit down at the computer. Seaton, 5 minutes later, walks into the library, runs at me. He takes his arm and slams it into the side of my head. I fell backwards, and on my head, it's ceramic tile. The library floor, he picks me up down the hall. Now, pay attention, Julie Cianca, Mark Phillips, and Regina Harper. Is $28,000 bald-headed widow Paul C. Metzler, and this is what's missing. An employee from the district attorney's office. My head's pounding, my ears are ringing. This is where I believe I may have stated this inaccurately last time. I said nobody from the public defender's office is there. Well, there was an employee, now that I thought about it, from the public defender's office. I'm just meeting my public defender after I'm attacked by Richard J. Seaman, who's waiting there for me. Julie Cianca, you know what I'm talking about? That means Paul C. Metzler contacted the public defender's office, this name I don't know, and said, I want to send this citizen to jail and have a public defender be at Penfield Town Court because we're going to bring him in. Well, if the public defender is there, she said to me, when my head is pounded, my ears are ringing, I'm your public defender. My public defender knows before I do that I'm supposed to be in Penfield Town Court. What's her name, Julie Cianca? What I just said here is lunatic French. I'm violently attacked. I meet my public defender as Paul C. Metzler is just about to declare me guilty of something she concocted. When the district attorney's office is not present and a prosecutor's not present to make an argument I committed a crime, this Paul C. Metzler in Penfield Town Court is evil. If it was anybody in your family, Julie Cianca, Mark Phillips, Regina Harper, that was violently attacked at a library and then placed in front of one corrupt judge and then driven to jail and then held in jail, I guarantee you'd have the same level of anger that I have. And then, this is, I think, the second time I was in Livingston County Jail. I don't know if this was the second time, but what I do know is you said to me, Regina Harper, quote, the judge is holding you, and how is that constitutional? Those are your exact words to me, and I think I wrote that language on a YouTube I did about the judge is holding you. If you go and type my name on the YouTube search box plus the judge is holding you, I talked about that. And I do not know if this is constitutional. I hesitate to say something's unconstitutional, even though I think it is, because I could be incorrect. I believe it is unconstitutional for me to be violently attacked in Penfield Public Library, deposited in front of Paul C. Metzler, where a prosecutor doesn't make an argument that I've committed a crime, and then to have this $128,000 bald-headed widow hold me in jail for as long as she wants to hold me in jail. Because she hold me in jail for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, or however long she wants. It doesn't matter to you. So, this is in your office, Perry Duckles. You could easily answer this. The names of my prosecutors here. Just like this is in your office too. This is, I think, about a 120-page document where it says, read Perry Duckles, Montgomery District Attorney's Office. This is corruption. This is done January 1, 2023, and it's to the last one on the back. The last document is dated May 4th. So the first document is dated January 1. The last document is dated May 4th. And all the documents in between here, over and over and over, I'm telling you to disclose the names of our prosecutors. Perry Duckles, January 1. Attached to the PDF, 61-page Freedom of Information Law document. I have the dates. Then I say, disclose the names of my prosecutors. Silence. What's not to understand? So you got this in January 1. Cianca, this is corruption. You should be able to identify corruption, Cianca, if you look in the mirror. This is January 3rd here. Comply with the attached PDF dated January 3rd. That is 66 Freedom of Information Law documents. Attached PDF for robbing office of the United Postal Service. You're copied on here. I'm looking right at your name here. Mark Phillips. I don't see Regina Harper. Mark Phillips is on here. Well, you know Mark Phillips. On January 3rd, I demanded the names of my prosecutors. You refused. So on this January 5th, there's Mark Phillips and Regina Harper right there. Comply with the attached PDF dated January 5th, 2023. 66 Freedom of Information Law documents. This includes the names of my prosecutor's son. So here you are, Mark Phillips, Regina Harper, and Cianca right here on January 5th. Mark and Regina, you just blow me off. You see my name, or I'm blocked, because you know I'm demanding that you disclose the names of my prosecutors, and that's corruption. Your silence is corruption. Mark Phillips, Regina Harper, and Cianca. January 10th, this went to Baxter and Dorley. Accountability, this is called. They signed for this in their office. That's the cover letter. I'll go to Gmail, print out on 8.5 by 14, and then I'll write a cover letter the next day, and I'll send to your offices, at the sheriff's office, the district attorney's office, like right here. Rejection and accountability. It's rejection because you're rejecting my foils. Names my products. Accountability, you're not accountable to anybody. Here, you do whatever you want. 72 Freedom of Information Law documents. That's the cover letter after I was on YouTube. This photograph's why I'm a fanatic. This photograph's why I'm an extremist. This photograph's why I'm a liar. This photograph why I know the name is $67,000 disgusting act. This photograph is why people hate the police. This is not the high resolution color photo, but I'll show it to you. And then I'm going to show you the rest of that packet. But this is it. I was on it. And they were lying about it. Because they know they can lie when they mean the sheriff's office. They can lie when I use the phrase surveillance device. It's right there. How many times do I have to say these to you hacks, sociopaths, at the sheriff's office? This is private technology at 2025 Penn Bureau for a business called Consumer Insights, where Ellie Roth's the president. Would you buy and fix it for me with tax dollars? That's because I had this confrontation with a man named Nayraj Shah for walking through this park. At that surveillance device, camera, call it what you want, is right here on this building here, 2025 Penfield. This is where Elliot Roth works. Here's two of my neighbors walk through the parking lot. Walking through this parking lot lands me in Monroe County Jail, but not my neighbors. So where's my 14th Amendment right, equal protection laws? Talked about this over and over. How many times I've used the Freedom of Information Law? I'll hold it up. And you've received this in your office, the public defender's office. It's a couch I used to have over and over. There could be 3,000 documents in there. I'd have to count them. They're right over here. I'm looking at it. What's on this couch is right next to me on my left. It would take me possibly 3 or 4 hours to read every single one now. This is corruption. But that's the camera that I just showed you. And so this is January 18th, which is called unethical. Again, you're all copied on here at the public defender's office. Plug detached PDF dated January 18th, 70 Freedom of Information Law documents. And you refused. January 24th, the perfect two-word description for Todd Banks for Sandra Doyle. You're freaks. You're freaks at the public defender's office, too. Mark Phillips, Regina Harper, Cianca. What are the names of our prosecutors? You're refusing to disclose those names to me? That's why you're freaks. Apply with the attached PDF dated January 24th, 2020. There's 70 Freedom of Information Law documents. This attached PDF for Robert. You also register mail return receipt United States Postal Service tomorrow. Mailing information from address below Rochester, New York. This includes the names of our prosecutor's sons. I will use that same language over and over and over, but I just changed the date. I'm being prosecuted in total silence by hacks, sociopaths, and criminals at the district attorney's office, Sandra Doyle, whose names I don't know. That's insane. This is coming. This is an email to my ex-girlfriend, Laura Riley, who I've known for 35 years, who took everything I own from where I used to live, where we used to live at 26 from driving Penn to a storage locker. When I was locked out of my residence, everything I owned was gone. And when I write a criminal complaint about Anthony Spano, this 80-year-old man in Fairport that did this to me, he's not going to be arrested. I've talked about this now relentlessly online. He has court order to evict the citizen. Just because I don't have a lease doesn't mean he can lock doors and lock me out. Do you understand me, Perry Duckles? Anthony Spano of Fairport, New York, locked the doors and locked me out. That takes a court order. He didn't have a court order. That's a crime. Moved everything out of my residence without a court order. That's a crime, too. He's committed other crimes, too. He's keeping my property inside the residence, such as a washer and dryer, and using my property to rent it to the new tenants. Multiple crimes committed by this 80-year-old man. He will not be arrested by you hacks, sociopaths, sheriff's office, because he's an 80-year-old man. That's why. So right here is perjurer Michael C. Houlihan should be fired immediately. Talk about him. Richard J. Seaton again. So Seaton and Houlihan are on here about I'm being violently attacked, and Houlihan being a perjurer for that. This is a rejection of accountability. This is in your office on January 26th. And so these are the salaries. I read the salaries. If you go to YouTube where it's public employee salaries, Sheriff Todd Baxter, public employee salaries, Sandra Dorley. I read your salaries again because I'm trying to destroy your morale to the sheriff's office and district attorney's office. Lisa Gray, this is corruption right here. I want to see if I can see. This is a blind copy. This is a blind copy to you, Mark Phillips, Regina Harper, and Julie Cianca. But the person I'm contacting is Lisa Gray at the district attorney's office, because it's just named there. Lisa Gray, special counsel at the district attorney's office. L. Gray at modelcounty.gov. Elizabeth Buckley, Monica O'Brien, Matthew Shorts, Michelle Crowley, Mark Monahan are copied up here, along with Christopher Bulkman, Robin Catalano, Jennifer Hyatt. I think it's Patrick Gallagher, Scott Miles, and I don't know who M. Robertson is. But Lisa Gray, the counsel, and this is in the district attorney's office too, because this arrived 48 hours ago. For Perry Douglas of Monroe County District Attorney's Office, I'm telling this hack, who's paid $113,000. I told him on January 1, disclose the names of my prosecutor's silence and refused. I'm telling his co-worker, Lisa Gray, the counsel, to disclose the names of my prosecutor. She refused. The district attorney refuses. You refuse the public defender's office, and you all know what their names are. Because you're psychopaths that refuse to disclose public information to me, and that's why this is called Psychopaths, Inc. On February 2nd, Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra Dorley, Judge Alex Renzi. Again, I'm talking to my ex-girlfriend, Laura Riley, on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, type the name Laura Riley, you see me talking to her about how I own nothing. I don't have my dress greens from 2nd Squadron, 17th Cavalry, 101st Airborne Division, because this 80-year-old man, Anthony, was spinal locking the doors and locking me out. And this is February 4th. It says here, Regina Harper, Monroe County Public Defender's Office, 10 North 52nd Street, Rochester, New York, 14604. Mark Phillips, Monroe County Public Defender's Office, 10 North 52nd Street, Rochester, New York. YouTube for Regina Harper, Mark Phillips, and Monroe County Public Defender's Office. I'm on YouTube telling you, Mark Phillips and Regina Harper to disclose the names of my prosecutors. You're refusing. Right here on February 4th. That's corruption. You will never know you're corrupt. To this day, 15 plus years later, after he resigned in disgrace on March 13, 2008, and I was in Albany that day, right next to the Capitol, Elliot Spitzer does not know he's corrupt. You, Mark Phillips, and you, Regina Harper, even though I'm telling you you're corrupt, that you have the names of my prosecutors, you refuse to disclose them to me, you will never know you're corrupt. Information at District Attorney Sandra Dorley and Todd Baxter on February 5th. What do you think the information is that I'm demanding? Prosecutors silence who should be disbarred. I'm not just demanding this so I can know their names. The Appellate Division of State Supreme Court is when attorneys disbarred. I will eventually acquire these names. That's the other thing that's nauseating and sick about you. I will acquire these names. It's just a matter of time. The lunatic fringe, the disease of your minds, it really is astounding to me that this is a taxpayer-financed public facility that's a courtroom. The prosecutor assigned to me is a taxpayer-financed public employee, and you know the names, and you're refusing to disclose them to me. So, information, February 5th. So, as I was saying, the Appellate Division of State Supreme Court is when attorneys disbarred. Julie Cianca, when I contact the Appellate Division of State Supreme Court, I say to them that you should be disbarred. And I say, you're the public defenders refusing to disclose the names of my prosecutors in a public scene that you have. What do you respond? What's your response? How do you respond? Respond to me now with the names. Blue wall sounds. Todd Baxter and his employees are the most ridiculous cop cliche there is. The blue wall silence has been around since at least Frank Serpico in New York City in the 1960s. These cops will commit violent crimes on citizens, which happening with Richard J. Seaman at the pharmacy entrance to Wegmans with an unidentified Monroe County Sheriff's Office employee. And the cops that watch the cops commit violent crimes will remain silent. That's the blue wall silence. My letter to Robert J. Valente, the United States Department of Veterans Affairs. I'm not going to go into that. Silence of violence. February 9th, Todd Baxter's Android. The silence of the district attorney's office is delivering to jail. It's accompanied by the sheriff's office. You type silence of violence in my name on YouTube, you can see me talking to them. Misconduct, Chief of Grand Jury Bureau. I'm not going to talk about this because it would take 10 to 15 minutes, but I'm indicted without being called to the grand jury. Michael Flynn perjured himself before the grand jury. How does that answer, Michelle Crowley? Misconduct, Chief of Grand Jury Bureau, Michelle Crowley. When I go into detail here, I think I was on there for 45 minutes about this indictment and how Michael Julian and Don Benedetto, Todd Baxter's $73,000 freak and $85,000 freak are hiding in the bushes of my 72-year-old neighbor. And he ran at me in the dark of the night and chased me up on the back porch, and Michael Houlihan lied and said I swung a hammer at him. So, February 14th, zealous misconduct again, fleeced. Todd Baxter says 155, Corey Brown, and 163, Michael Fowler of Saratoga. Total disgrace and abomination. Send his employees to Saratoga, New York. Michael Rowder, Kathleen Miller. Scott Alberti, Wilmington Air. Did they drive? Did they fly? What are they doing out of Monroe County? It's Saratoga. It's a junket. That's what they're doing out of Monroe County. February 16th, Sheriff Todd Baxter, $16,000 pay raise freak, 83291 Shannon and Myers freak began everything that happened to me. Again, I'm telling her on February 16th, disclosed names to our prosecutor. She refused. This is me up here, $16,000 pay raise freak. Here's all the emails here. I use a Proton Mail account that I pay for because it's unlimited recipients. That's how I can reach everyone up there. This is a Proton Mail account again. Sickness again. I'm telling. Read the attached PDF documents. Disclose the names on prosecutor silence. Mail names on prosecutor silence. You have this blow resign. There's your name, Julie Cianca. There's your name, Mark Phillips. There's your name, Regina Harper. And you refused. That's corruption. Vice District Attorney Sandra Dorley here again. I'm looking at your name, Regina Harper, right there. Well, I'm telling you to disclose the names. On my prosecutors, there's your name, Mark Phillips. There's your name, Julie Cianca, and you're refusing. That's corruption. One judge, the corruption of Todd Baxter, San Giorgio State Legislature, and Albany Assembly and Senate needs to change this law. One judge is the destruction of my life. I'm not demanding any information here because I didn't write it for that day. I'm just telling you about one judge. One judge destroys a life. One judge that knows nothing. Paul C. Messer, this bald-headed widow knows nothing. John P. Lomenzo Jr., our predecessor, knows nothing. Alex Renzi knows nothing. I told Alex Renzi to his face, you know nothing. You know nothing about these concocted charges, fictionalized my exact language to this act. And he didn't say anything. He didn't say, yes, I do, and you're incorrect, defendant Chichester. Nothing like that. When I said to this $208,000 fossil, you know nothing, he stared right at me. In total ignorance. Does that matter to you, Perry Duckles? It should. February 22nd, disclosed names on prosecutors resigned. Insane one judge. Again, former Monroe County Public Defender Mark Phillips and Regina Harper. I'm on YouTube about you too. Appellate Division of State Supreme Court is one attorneys to spar. Identification. I go with the basic words. I'll go with the inflammatory words because I'm trying to enrage you psychopaths, the sheriff's office, the district attorney's office. And then I'll go with the general words, such as information. The information I'm demanding is prosecutor's silence. On February 22nd, 2023, you received Federal Express, the attached PDF documentation, mail names are prosecutor's silence. The address below, 620 Park Avenue, Rochester, New York. Have the receipt. Federal Express, UPS, registered mail return receipt, Gmail, YouTube, over and over and over, using different ways to communicate with you hacks and sociopaths at the public defender's office and district attorney's office. I'm demanding you disclose the names of my prosecutor. You refused every single time for 18 months. So, this is freaks on Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra Dorley, and Judge Alex Ramsey. Freaks. You know why you're freaks? It has an answer. You're freaks because you're prosecuting me in total silence at the district attorney's office. It's sworn officers of the law with a badge and holster weapon of violent attacking me. City of freaks. This is where I'm just on this app called TikTok. I only sent you the TikTok apps here so you can see me on there. I think I've been on there now 100 times on the TikTok app. So, City of freaks. What I'm telling you on TikTok, just like I do on YouTube, just like I do in writing. Disclose the names of my prosecutors. Insane. It's insane for you not to disclose the names of my prosecutors. Read the attached PDF. Mail the names of my prosecutors. Silence listed below. Resign. So, again, talking to you $113,000 peridox identification here. I'll go with the basic language here. Every single time you refuse silence of Monroe County Public Defender Julie Cianca. How is it sense when I contact Spring Lamar, President of the Monroe County Legislature, every Monroe County legislator will get a packet from me, including this packet. This packet I'm holding pages will be in it. And they'll be able to see right here. Monroe County legislators will be able to see silence of Monroe County Public Defender Julie Cianca. And you hypothetically ask Julie Cianca, why don't you just tell the citizens the names of prosecutors you have in your office at 10 North Fitzhugh Street, that's the Public Defender's Office? And what's your response, Julie Cianca? I really am hard-pressed to try to understand how you have any type of coherent, rational, justified response. Because this is information you have. You should be fired immediately. Fired. There's different ways I believe you can remove as a public defender. Do you know why you should be fired, Julie Cianca? Julie Cianca, what are the names of our prosecutors? And your silence and you refuse to answer. That's why you should be fired. If you're doing this to me, you're doing this to a citizen, violating the civil and constitutional rights. Ludicrous. It's ludicrous for you not to disclose the names of my prosecutors. Perry Douglas, District Attorney's Office. Mail the names of my prosecutors to silence listed below in Rochester, New York, April 5th. Confusing. Corruption, fanaticism, Pemberton Court's bald-headed widow. I hate this fucking hack with every single fiber of my being. It's Paul C. Metzer. I'm violently attacked because of her. I'm languishing in Livingston County Jail. Well, I'm not told how long I'm going to be there, where I have to go to the kiosk every day and talk to the employees that work for Sheriff Thomas J. Doherty in Livingston County. Nobody's telling me how long I'm going to be there. I'm witnessing violent attacks in there where I have to give a statement to a state state investigator there. I've talked about that previously. Refusal. Mail names are prosecutors, silence the address list below in Rochester, New York. Refuse. That's April 7th. April 7th. What's today's date? So, degenerates is a word I go with. I'm trying to be inflammatory here. Degenerates tied back to St. Julian Alex Renzi. Mail names are prosecutors, silence the address below in Rochester, New York. I will attach the same writing to Alice Calabrese, Chief Executive Officer of Valley Top Farm Humane Society. Come to my residence to man my dog. Sexual harassment, the Sheriff's Office, District Attorney's Office, and Judge Alex Renzi. This is what I think can remove you from office. This is what I believe can remove you from office. Tied back for Sandra Doyle. If your employees are guilty of what's commonly called sexual harassment, you're in violation of Title VII and 1964 Civil Rights Act, and your respective offices, and you spend taxpayer dollars to settle sexual harassment lawsuits, you cannot remain in office. Sexual harassment tied back to San Joey, Judge Alex Renzi. Mail names on prosecutor silence listed below in Rochester, New York. Read the 6 attached PDF documentation. Answer me about sexual harassment in offices. Resign. And again, I include the same links on here that I just cited. Again, there's my long letter to Alice Calabrese, Valley Top Farm Humane Society. The sickness of the cops coming to my house. Disordered. It's disordered to come to the house of an innocent citizen to ban his dog. Mail the names on prosecutor silence listed below in Rochester, April 13th. Read the 6 attached PDF documents. Answer me about sexual harassment in offices. Resign. Affliction here. This is April 14th. Mail the names on prosecutor silence listed below in Rochester, New York. Read the 6 attached PDF documentation. Answer me about sexual harassment in the offices. There it is. Julie Cianca, MonroeCounty.gov. Mark Phillips, MonroeCounty.gov. Christina Harper, MonroeCounty.gov. You can just click this off and delete it. And when you see my name in the email box, you can click little box, delete me, not even watch it. But there's your email right here. You know the names of my prosecutors on April 14th, and you refuse it. You should corrupt it. Public Defender's Office. That's why. The Shield, everything that's happened to me began with this cop freak that Todd Baxter gave a $16,000 raise to. The Shield and Sheriff Todd Baxter's 83-291-42-7 fanatic. Shannon and Meyer, warned for my arrest for park line walking 4,000 times. Mail names on prosecutor silence. The address below in Rochester, New York. Read the 6 attached PDF. Answer me about sexual harassment in your office. You refuse because you're corrupt. Absurd. It's absurd to refuse and disclose the names of prosecutor silence. That's why that word is used. Mail the names on prosecutor silence listed below in Rochester, New York. You psychopaths. Read the 6 attached PDF documentation. Answer me about sexual harassment in offices. Fire corrupt cop Shannon and Meyer. Todd. The reason why Todd Baxter's not going to fire is corrupt cop Shannon and Meyer is that Todd Baxter's corrupt cop. So, MCSO Patrick's High Jansen McNair. I'm talking to you again. Public defender Julie Cianca. This is corruption right up here. This double dipper Jansen McNair. The Todd back to make a phone call to County Executive Adam Bello to get this Jansen McNair, former 20-year employee of the Sheriff's Office's job. He's a double dipper just like Todd Baxter. Julie Cianca, April 19th, mail the names on prosecutor silence whistleblower in Rochester, New York. You psychopaths, capiche? That means understand Italian. Read the 6th attached PDF documentation as a freedom of information law. Answer me of sexual harassment in your offices. Fire $83,291.42 nightmare corrupt cop Shannon and Meyer. Todd, 42 cents? Question mark. You're a joke. How do you pay your employees in cents? Todd Baxter, absolutely ridiculous. So unethical. Patronage hired Jansen McNair, who's also returning my mail. I hope he's in fear when he sees my name. I'm going to be in contact with him over and over and over, especially when I contact Adam Bello to ask Adam Bello about the hiring of Jansen McNair at the Office of Public Integrity. And why does Monroe County need an Office of Public Integrity? It's one of the most corrupt counties of all the 62 counties in New York. I have no doubt about that. Malice, Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra Joy, Judge Alex Renzi, April 21. Mailing names are prosecutor Sarsi, address system on Rochester, New York. Read the 7 attached PDF documents. That's freedom of information law. The attached PDF documentation includes an arrest warrant for walking through a park lot in Pempton, New York, 4,000 times by $83,291.42 psychopath cop Shannon and Meyer, for which I was in Monroe County Jail without a prosecutor talking Pempton Town Court before John P. Lomenzo Jr. Do you understand that's insane? Resign. I'm constantly telling you to resign. I'm not trying to be inflammatory or ridiculous. You need to resign, Todd Baxter, Sandra Joy. You violating civil constitutional rights within its citizens every day because you're bankrupt. Bankrupt here. Attached to Freedom of Information Law dated April 23, 2023 requires you to disclose the names of prosecutors silence before Pempton Town Court John P. Lomenzo Jr., Pempton Town Judge Paul C. Metro, New York State Supreme Court Judge Alex Renzi, mail the names of prosecutors silence. Judge just listed below resign. Christopher John, 620 Park Avenue, PMB number 361, Rochester, New York, 14604. You have that information. A cancer? When I'm saying trying to be inflammatory. Sandra Dorn is a cancer survivor, and that's why I use this word up here. So I'm trying to enrage her. When she looks at this is in the district attorney's office. I hope she was enraged when she saw that I wrote a cancer here about her. So, April 24th, comply with the attached Freedom of Information Law documents, mail names, and prosecutor silence. The address is more Rochester, New York. Because Sandra Dorn uses her health to generate political points and sympathy because she's a Machiavellian calculator. And Sandra Dorn employs the district attorney's office. I don't give a shit about her health. And when she's raising her health and using it for sympathy, a citizen like me will question her ability to do her job because of her failing health. And that's why she has to have a conviction integrity unit. Do you, Sandra Dooley, go into the office to stay in a 40-hour work week Monday through Friday, 9 to 5? Or do you work from home? If you go into the office, you have a driver, you have a chauffeur that leaves your house in Webster, drives you into the district attorney's office. And what's the answer, you pathetic diva? You shut the hell up about your health. So, April 27th, comply with the 3 attached Freedom of Information Law documents dated April 27, 2023. Mail the names on prosecutor silence, the address below in Rochester, New York. I prosecutor silence before Lomenzo Messler and Renzi. And then I have that on here. It's right here. This is corruption. April 27th, the documentation for the case for Christopher Charges for John P. Lomenzo Jr. in Pempton Town Court. What is the name of prosecutor, Sandra Joy? Perry Douglas, is that Julie Hahn or is that not Julie Hahn? Julie Cianca, is that Julie Hahn or is it not Julie Hahn? You know this name. The sickness of you, the intellectual moral bankruptcy of you, Julie Cianca and Perry Douglas is right here. You know this name. Just like you're going to know the names for the next 2. This is information you have at the public defender's office and district attorney's office that I sent you on April 27th, and I have been sending to you for 18 months. Documentation for the case from Christopher Charges for Paul C. Metro, Pempton Town Court. What is the name of prosecutor, Sandra Joy? Quote, the prosecutor's not backing down. That's what Regina Harper said to me about this boy, who's like this I know, whose name I don't. So you know his name. Because you talked to him about me, Regina Harper. That's why you said to me the prosecutor's not backing down. And what you didn't do is conclude that he's a psychopath. Because you, Regina Harper, are a psychopath. If you disagree with that, you shouldn't be any type of confusion. This is why I use that word psychopath, not you, Regina Harper. You're the public defender's office. You know the names of my prosecutors. Regina Harper. What's the name of this prosecutor right here before Paul C. Metzler? Don't be confused because you're going to refuse to answer, and that's why you're a psychopath. I would never do to you at the public defender's office. Regina Harper Marfos, Junior Cianca, what you're doing to me, if the roles were reversed. Documentation of the case for Chris Judge, New York State Supreme Court, Alex Renzi, what is the name of the prosecutor, Sam Joel? He serves finished and done, which is not true, and you have that name. There were two females standing behind me in my last appearance when he said I was finished. That's not true. Because one of you psychopaths in the district attorney's office just concoct a arrest warrant, use pretrial services corporation, Jamie Bailey, or something else in 1984 Monroe County, I would have to call Jamie Bailey at a pretrial services corporation. I don't have a trial schedule. Pretrial Service Corporation is used as a mechanism to return citizens to jail if you don't make a phone call, if you don't make an appearance over there. The 1984 of what is Monroe County, the system of justice, Pretrial Service Corporation. No trial schedule for me. I've never had a trial. Prosecutors never talked to court for me. And yet I have to call Pretrial Service Corporation to stay out of jail. Cruelty right here, comply with detached freedom of information law, April 29th. Mailing answer on prosecutor Cianca, just blown Rochester, New York. Refused. Leeches on society. Again, this is May 4th. Comply with the 11 freedom of information law documents, May 4th, 2023. Mailing answer on prosecutor Cianca, just blown Rochester, New York. Is on. So that's it. This here, every single one I read here, this document here, arrived at Sheriff Todd Baxter, May 13th. District Attorney Sandra Dorling, May 13th. Trini Ross, United States Attorney for Washington District, New York, and Buffalo, May 13th, and Alex Renzi. Now, I'm going to send this document that I just read, which is going to include this too, this December 22nd FOIL. This is who I'm going to send it to, and it's going to come back to me. This has been filled out. Document I just read. Tomorrow, I'm going to go to the post office in Rochester, New York. This is filled out. See, this says Julie Cianca, return receipt, hard copy. There's your name, Julie Cianca. Here's your name, Julie Cianca. There's my name on the back. That's going to come back to me. I'm demanding you disclose names of our prosecutors. Mark Phillips, here's your name. This is return receipt, hard copy electronic. There's my name on the back. There's your name on the front. Regina Harper. I'm going to go to the post office. It says hard copy electronic, Regina Harper here. So I have these three here. These three here. I'm going to put this document in the mail here. In an envelope. It's going to have your name on it right here, just like this. Julie Cianca, see this? This is the envelope I'm going to put yours in. And this envelope I'm having in my hand will come back to me. Because you're corrupt, that's why. Is there any confusion about what I'm saying to you? I don't have any clothes because of Ty Baxter and Sandra Dorley. Life is good. Sometimes dark humor is appropriate in life. My landlords, they locked door and locked me out. Every single one of these is from the Goodwill in Rochester. I'm buying clothes because I don't have any clothes anymore. I don't have any clothes because of you, Sheriff Todd Baxter, you, District Attorney Sandra Dorley, you, Paul C. Master and John P. Lenzer Jr. in Pampton Court, and you, Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. My life has been smashed into a million little pieces by your hatred. My name is Christopher Chichester. I live in Rochester, New York. I have been innocent man my whole life.